I'm going to share why I did not offer full property management services to someone who asked for it. And when I didn't, she thanked me for it. And I'm going to be sharing that on the Furlough Capital Real Estate Podcast, where we dive into the intricacies of passive real estate investing. And our mission is to equip people to invest wisely in both properties and residences, whether they know it or not, so that together we can build wealth while improving housing. I'm James, and this is my wife, Jessie.
I'm so intrigued. Like, why would you say no to someone?
Yeah.
Okay, but before we get there, this has nothing to do with the podcast. At least I don't think it does.
If you're intrigued.
It is. I'm intrigued.
Dang.
But also, speaking of intrigue, I feel like that was a good tie-in. Samson recently checked out a Guinness Book of World Records book from the library, and we were just flipping through it. And
nice.
Some of those things are like, what? Like, that's a world record?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
that's a thing.
Who created, like, who thought of that?
Yeah,
I mean,
how many times this person was able to keep a feather off the ground by only using their breath for the most amount of time?
It's just like there was one, the longest time
that's not a thing I can
you
totally
had a certain percentage of your skin touching ice. I was like, okay.
Of course.
Happened to be just over 2.5 hours, which seems like a long time, but
that's one of the things I like it when Dude Perfect, they're like, we're going to break some records. Just get after it. It's some like making a basket from the furthest distance blindfolded or whatever.
Right, or like a basket after a bounce.
Some random,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's totally random.
Whatever it is.
It's a weird.
It's super weird.
I get it. I mean, it's interesting. Obviously, like it hooks us.
It
right?
is. It's
like,
intriguing.
Oh, fascinating.
Like, why would someone do that?
Yeah.
Which,
why would
similarly,
someone do that?
You know, why would someone say? Why would you say no to someone?
Yeah. So let's back it up a little bit. So I have a property management company, woohoo, and I've got a website, and on that website, I offer a free property analysis. So you can go to the website and be like, man, how much does my property actually rent for? And I'll do the research and figure it out
so
for you.
if I had a rental unit, and I was like, I have no idea how much to list this for, or like what I would do, I could.
Or if you want to evaluate your current whatever you're doing.
Oh, okay.
You go to the website, do it, and
say, hey, send me this report.
Yeah, and I generate a report, send it to you,
cool.
like here's what it is, and then from there you go into my lead system, right? And I follow up. Hey, let's talk about what it is that you're looking to do. So I did that for this person who came to my website, made the request.
Yeah,
I sent it off to her, and so we started like going back and forth. One of the things she did almost right away was I sent the email. And she's like, hey, this looks great. I want to look at it. P.S. How much do you charge? And, as a general rule, if that's like the first question that someone asks, you're like, I don't know if they're going to be a good fit, right? They're price sensitive.
They're trying to save money.
Yeah.
More than likely.
And you're like, okay, all right. Well, I got her on the phone and, we were just kind of talking. Well, it's this single family home. And it's in a really nice neighborhood. And she had another property manager who had tried working with her, who was like, oh, we can rent this thing for $3,400 a month, which is, that's a lot. And she ran into the problem where, while they were still negotiating, talking, that property manager went ahead and listed the property. It was like and I think the idea was like, hey, I'm going to get this ahead. I'm going to try to get you a client as fast as I can. Well, the owner freaked out.
But they weren't officially under contract.
Correct. So she freaked out and was like, what the heck? And, was upset about it, pulled out from that. Went and talked to someone else who also just didn't seem to have a lot of experience and weren't going to be a good fit.
Yeah.
She then went and looked into doing like a short-term rental type of thing.
Okay.
And they were going to charge 25% management fee.
Wow.
A quarter.
That's wild.
Yeah. And that, by the way, that 25% did not include cleaning, coordinating things.
What did it include?
Didn't include any
That's
utilities.
just a management fee.
That was just the management fee.
And then you get charged all of those other things like piecemeal.
Yeah. Essentially, they would be managing tenant bookings and then coordinating cleanings and maintenance.
Do people actually use that service?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I feel like
I mean, people do use those services, and I know that some of them are not cheap.
Yeah.
And that's one of the issues with short-term rentals. But ultimately, she decided, nope, I want to go long-term. So I gave her my pitch. Now I'm going to share the pitch that I gave her, and then I'm going to share the pitch that I probably should have given.
Okay.
So the pitch that I gave her was, I was like, it's a three-part pitch. And the first one was like, hey, relief. You're going to get peace of mind knowing that everything's handled like clockwork. They're not going to have any more tenant or maintenance stress. Okay. Which, yeah, there's that. I said the other one is you get control, right? So we're going to treat your rental like it's an investment, not just a property. And like I like to use real market data and information for my own stuff, and I like to proactively manage my own stuff. And so I'm going to treat theirs like it's my own. Like you'll have control over the market and what's going on. And then the last one was you'll get freedom, right? Your rental property is going to work for you, not the other way around. That's the pitch I gave. In hindsight, it wasn't great, so I'm gonna workshop. I was working on a new one.
All right.
As I was preparing for this podcast, my notes. So here's my new one. It's much longer. Shocker.
More detail.
This is what happens, man. You give me time. I'm like, oh, I can easily make this 3 times as long. I am not. Who is it? Mark Twain.
Is this like so AI helped pitch, or is this totally James Furlow's brain?
Why does that matter?
I don't know. It just seems like it does. Like,
why?
Well, because it's like if it's AI generated, that seems like.
I'm really curious about this. Is a total side.
Yeah, this is
thing.
a total side note. I don't know.
This is the great debate right now.
It is the great debate, and I feel like I don't know, for something like this, probably not that important, because really what the AI is adding is like it's stringing it together in a more eloquent way, but the heart and the message of what you wanted to communicate is still true to you, true to what you wanted to say.
Okay.
To me, it's like if you didn't start with any of your core value and you were just like, hey, write me a pitch to manage this property. Here's the property stats. That would be like, that's not really like.
Yeah. So to be clear, like I'm talking about like the pitch in sense of like, here's what I offer. Here's what makes me different. Does that make sense? So there's no property stats or anything involved. This is like my company.
Yeah, but it's like
why you should hire me
because your property has this. All right, this is what I would do. Okay,
right, let's go down this track.
Back on track.
Let's go down this track for just half a second here.
Okay.
I fundamentally believe there's no one who does pure writing. Someone gets technological help on some level at all times. It could be as simple as I'm using a word processor, right? Like that is like, and it's easy for me to delete and go back. You don't have to nail it the very first time.
Sure.
Okay. If you're using just basic spell check, you are getting help there with your spelling and grammar. If you're using something like Grammarly, which is not only helping with spelling and that, it also layers on some like minor phrasing.
Mm-hmm.
If you are using something like an AI agent, again, it's massaging it even more. And at the end of the day, every single one of these tools are garbage in, garbage out. So if you give it a generic prompt, it's going to give you a generic answer. If you give it a very specific, here's all the stuff that I want you involved, here's kind of what I'm thinking about it, you will get a more personalized response. And that's true for all of it, right? And so when someone comes along and starts asking questions about like, well, did you use AI or did you not? Like for me, I'm like, I instantly go like, well, what's the heart of the question here? Are you trying to figure out like, is this an exercise? Like, is this purely quote my own thoughts? Or is it just, I'm trying to communicate the message the best I can? Like, what does it say about if you write something and you take it to someone else to read and edit for you, which by the way, every single publisher does. How is that any different than using AI for editing?
The difference for me in this particular scenario is when you say a pitch, I think it's something you're going to verbally communicate to someone.
Yeah, 100%.
And so
in this case, yeah. Sometimes it's over email.
And so it's like if you are getting this help molding it and saying it in a certain way, then you're memorizing that to tell the person. Doesn't seem as genuine as you're just coming up with your ideas.
Yeah.
And saying it.
Fair enough. I hear what you're saying.
Which I get. Like there is this level of like, I could get better at delivering my pitch, and possibly like, okay, yeah, I'm going to get some help writing it and saying it in a different way. And I'm going to learn how to verbalize what I want in a different way. Well, like that's good.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. Okay. I also, to me, the things that are impressive are, let's use athletes as an example. And we'll use Steph Curry. his free throwing percentage is ridiculous. It's like high 90s.
Yeah.
He generally doesn't miss.
Yeah.
And it's not because he's an amazing, talented person. It's because he practices and practices and he tweaked and he changed and he watched his video and he got feedback and he did that and he practiced a ton, which took him he was already naturally he was good. Yeah. Obviously.
He started at a higher place, but
you don't get to a 90+% free throw without a ton of practice. Yeah. That to me is the impressive part. Every single top salesperson who you talk to, they work off a sales script and they practice it over and over and over. Now, yes, they've got some natural delivery and there's some things that they can do where they think on the spot. And part of it is they go, I've heard this 100 times, so I know what's coming. And it's the 100 times of practice. Yeah. Now, if you use a tool like ChatGPT, instead of saying I have to do this 100 times to get good, I now only have to do it 20 times to get good. That's not a loss. At the end of the day, you're getting
still
to
improving.
You're both at that same point where it's this thing has been tweaked and changed. And we've talked about this where I will practice saying something and I will tweak and change it over and over. And my little one has been how do I introduce myself and what I do? And I struggled with that for a few years because I was I'm involved in so many things. Blah, blah, blah.
Right. You wanted to include all of it.
Yeah. And I finally have landed on I had to simplify it way down. And it took me a year to figure it out to just go, I'm a real estate investor.
Yeah.
And that's it. And if they're genuinely interested, I can go into, all right, and here's how I actually do it. But it took me, I didn't get there naturally. As simple as that sounds, that wasn't how I started because it was super complicated in my head. And so if you can have tools to help shortcut that, because at the end of the day, again, I'm not trying to win some prize for being a thought leader. I'm trying to convince someone and communicate with them, hey, I think my company could be a good fit. So
it makes sense. And it's it's a tangent to go down.
Totally.
Which
is okay, but
it's a whole nother podcast, a whole nother episode of the use of AI in sales, and marketing.
Fundamentally, I think it's good. Do it. Whatever tools make it easier to communicate and help people make decisions. Yeah. I'm on board with.
And I'm not as gung-ho, but I get it.
That's fine.
So anyways.
Wow.
You're working on your pitch.
So I've been working on my pitch. I came up with a better one, which there should be a little bit of an indicator there. If I had one that I did, and now I'm refining it, trying it again, that should kind of clue in, given the conversation we just had.
Right.
I'm not just throwing this in the ChatGPT and saying, give me your best answer.
Yeah, you're
and the
evaluating
one that I'm giving now will be different after I say it out loud to you, because I actually haven't said this out loud. I just kind of wrote it and said, here's what I thought.
Okay, all right, this is the first time anyone has heard it.
Yeah. So here's what I think is my better pitch. Okay. I'm kind of workshopping it. The first one is I think what I can offer is pride, right? You want your investments to mean something. It's not just about the dollars, but it's also about the dignity. And it's the dignity for the people that you're affecting, like in neighborhoods and the tenants and just everything that the property touches. And we help people not only build their wealth, but improve their housing. And part of that is because we actually like tenants, right? We want to see them thrive. For example, anyone new who moves in, we have an onboarding class. And part of that is we go through a financial class. Yeah. And that's because we want them to be successful. Now, is it good if they have a emergency fund? Is that good for us? Yes. Obviously. But the heart of it is I want them to be financially successful. We also, you can trust us. And you shouldn't have to babysit your property manager, right? You want someone who gets it, who can think like an owner, who can solve issues proactively and make those smart trade-offs that often need to be made. And that's because we're also investors. And so we understand what your goals are and what your challenges are. We think like you do. And then finally, what we're going to offer you is relief. And that's because you don't want to hear excuses well, we don't usually handle that. You want to know that your property, whatever shape it takes, whether that's residential, commercial, some mix of it, whatever it is, it's in capable, experienced hands. And we have built those types of flexible systems because we own a mix of residential, commercial, and specialty properties. And so we can handle the gamut because we have to handle the gamut. And that is what makes us different.
That wasn't much it was a much more emotional pitch.
Dang.
Or like pulled at the heartstrings a little bit more.
Okay.
Used words like pride and trust.
Trust, relief.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
More than just, we're covering the bases, we're doing the job.
Yeah. I felt like the first way I kind of described it, which is similar, it was just more of like, I'm just explaining it to you. And, I don't know. It was, so I gave that initial pitch to her, and it was good enough where she was like, all right, let's chat. And I told her that I would charge 9% to do it. She was like, well, if we do it for 8, like, we'd be happy. And I was like, all right. Like, which the big issue is that she has a mortgage that she pays $2,600 a month on. Yeah.
And and what was it? Was $3,000 for the rent?
I went out and I did my analysis for her, and I came back and said, I think you can rent this thing for $3,000. Yeah. When you throw on a property management fee, she's like, well, that's like $300 if it's 10%, and like that's like no margin for me. I was like, well, that's tough. So we met and we did a tour, and like this house is awesome. It's a nice, beautiful. It's one where I'm glad that you didn't see it, because you'd have been like, man,
it's so amazing.
Samson was with me. I can't remember why. Oh, I think he was sick that day, so he stayed home from school. I was like, you got to come with me. And it had a very big living room, and vaulted ceilings. And he was just like, dude,
wow.
Do you know how many sports I could play in here? I was like, none. Awesome. So what was interesting though was like she clearly she had a pride of ownership, and she wanted to be involved, but she just didn't have the time. And I started to get this feeling while talking with her that like I would just be a middleman, and that she would never truly be happy with me or any property manager, because she didn't actually want a property manager. Like that was the
interesting.
Like she knew what she wanted to have done. She just didn't have time to do it. And she was gonna, I don't know if I want to use micromanage being the word, but she was going to want to
be involved in all the different aspects. Yeah.
So what I told her I actually said this. I said, you know what? I don't want to be your middleman, but let me be your backup is how I phrased it. And so what I suggested is that I help her place the tenant and then I hand it off. Okay. So
interesting.
Yeah. So if you think about tenant placement type of stuff, it's like, I would do the advertising. I would do the tours. I would then do the screening. I would do the onboarding. I would even take that first payment just to make sure they're upset. And if there were any minor repairs that I saw throughout the house, which we saw a couple, I was like, I will take care of those as well. It's kind of thought. I said it typically, instead of charging the 8%, I was like, it'll just be a 50% first month's rent, and then
just kind of a one-time fee.
It was amazing watching the relief on her face when I made that suggestion. She was something like, yes,
that's what I want.
That's exactly what I'm looking for.
Interesting.
She's like, because I can't just, there's this beginning part, but if someone sets the foundation for me,
I can keep it going.
I can do the rest of it. And so,
and especially if you have the help to find a great tenant who they care about the property and they have pride in keeping it a nice place, and there's a relationship there, it makes the owner's job a lot easier.
Yeah. So I ended up, I put it out there, advertised it.
So interesting.
I ended up finding a couple who's moving up into the area. The wife just got a job locally, and they can afford it. Now the downside is they're selling a house, but because they've never been to the area, they're like, oh, we want to live here for a year and figure out where we actually want to live. So they're not going to be there for 40,
super
10 years.
Long term.
It's going to be like a year-long thing, and then she's going to be back at it. But she's also kind of in that, I don't really know 100% what I want to do with this. Do I want to keep it? Do I want to keep it rental? Whatever. So it kind of gives her a year to also think about it. Sure. And in the interim,
try
she's
some
going
things
to
out.
cover everything. And she's going to pay me half a month's rent, and she'll make up for that.
And so
real quick.
What does that look like as an ongoing relationship? Like when those tenants leave, is she going to be like, hey, James, can you find different people?
Yeah, maybe.
You've left the door open.
I don't know. Yeah,
to whatever.
Yeah, and I told her too. I was like, hey, keep my phone number around. If you got questions as things are going on, if they do something or request something and you're not sure, I'm like, give me a call. Yeah. I help other friends like that all the time, and I don't even.
Or if she needs help with a maintenance thing, or something.
If you need a hookup for that, let me know. I can help you out. So that was, I truly was like, let me just be your backup and do that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say this. Do you think you would offer that as a regular service as you were talking to owners and you got that spidey sense of like they really are going to be like a micromanaging or like a really hands-on owner, you know.
I might. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because
I could see being in that position as a property manager where you're like, okay, like if you want me to manage your property, you've got to give me some of the control to be able to do this well. You know, if they're constantly checking on you or asking questions or changing things, that's like,
yeah, it's not fun.
This is really hard.
I've talked to other property managers. I have talked to other property managers, and it's usually they say the owners are the biggest problem. It's not the tenants necessarily.
Interesting.
Yeah, which part of it's all about setting expectations. But even like this one, I was like, man, I don't know. I could have set it out, and I don't think she would have been happy with whatever, even if she agreed with it.
Yeah, with whatever you were doing.
Yeah.
She was going to want to be involved.
I even go as far as like, if I was doing it for free, I don't think she would have been happy because she wanted it done a certain way, which is fine. Like, and totally. I mean, I'm that way. I totally get it. And so, but yeah. So I had a couple takeaways from that. Sometimes like the best service isn't a full service. It's just the right service. And I think that, the other thing that was important for me was, you know, I wanted to build trust, right? And I get that there's a short-term revenue thing and then it doesn't ongo, but I think long-term it just builds trust and credibility because I'm going to assume that she knows other investors and will be like, hey, this guy, like, he got it. He didn't try to push something on me that I didn't want. Yeah. And I try to be that way with all of my investors, right? Like, man, if it's a good fit, yeah, let's go. But if it's not, like, no, I'm not going to
take a step.
I'm going to try to force it. So there you go. That was, I told her, no, I'm not going to do this for you. And she was like, okay, I actually like your solution better. Yeah. I remember we were standing in the kitchen. I was like, all right, this is going to sound a little weird, but what if I didn't manage this for you? And I just placed a 10. No, I use that language of, I feel like I'm just going to be a middleman here and you're not going to love it. So let me be your backup.
Yeah.
And so,
which it does show the property owner and the investors that you're not just in it for a contract or to make it the next buck. Yeah. You're actually paying attention to what is it that you want, and is that going to be a good working relationship and you know, ongoing, and are you actually improving housing and lives? So makes sense. Yeah.
So if you enjoyed this podcast and consider me now a trusted person who's got the best interest for you in heart, I would love to talk about investing with you. And whether that's you had the funds and want to invest in another property that we're invested in, or if you already got an asset and want to partner with us for it, we'd love to talk to you about it. You can learn more about us at furlough.com. Thanks again for listening and have a fantastic day.